Uh, Commander, shall we start? Hello, Commander, shall we start? Oh, let me unmute you, Commander. Just 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Saturday, and we are back again with another interesting session for all of you. And the topic for this evening is who is the Jose? And to talk about this topic, we have a very special guest today with us, Lieutenant Commander Amiya Patra. Uh, Lieutenant Commander Patra served in Indian Navy for 10 years. He's a writer, he's a filmmaker, he's a creative soldier, he's a defense consultant, a motivational speaker, and a corporate trainer. Quite a lot of hats Commander Patra wears actually.
Thank you.
The first feature film as director's assistant won 2 state awards in Orissa this year. And that is where Commander Patra contributed immensely. He's a former creative consultant for German government in India and UNESCO. He's the creative head of Mandar and No More, an NGO that works for drowning prevention campaign in India. He's a curator and a festival designer for 2 international film festivals in India. He's an esteemed member of Screenwriters Association. As a screenplay writer, signed an international feature film this year for Oscars 2021. He's a TEDx speaker and a corporate trainer. Quite a lot of achievement, Commander, and we all are very good to hear from you today, and we look forward to this session. And I'm sure we are going to learn a lot from you today. And the topic looks very interesting. We are not sure if this is a typo error, because in Uri we have heard about how is the Jose, but
Yeah.
you know, this looks very strange to us, to be very honest. Who is the Jose? I'm not sure if this is a typo error. We look forward to hearing from you. Over to you, Commander.
Thank you so much, Tanmay. I would thank Warriors Creed for giving me this immense opportunity to interact with young India, I would say, because every time I say that I interact with students, I always say that they're not just students, they're young India. India, जिनके बारे में लोग आज फिक्र करते हैं, मुझे उन पे फक्र है. So I always say this, and I always believe in it. So when I interact with young India, that actually throws me a lot of challenge, because the era where we were born and brought up, where we have been grown up, that era is very different than this era. So when we get an opportunity to interact with them, I always feel it's a privilege. And thank you for this opportunity. And I would like to share my thoughts and my journey to them. So before I go into the topic, who's the Jose? I firmly believe that there is a requirement of, there is a famous saying that all of you would have definitely heard of. It is always good to have a goal or an end to a journey, but it is always the journey that matters in the end. I'm a firm believer of this fact, and I always believe that is always the journey that matters. So here I am. I'm an engineer by qualification. I'm a creator by passion, a soldier by emotion, Hence, I call myself a creative soldier. So that's my shortest introduction. But now, all of you, all the youngsters, and all those people who are hearing me would be having this question: creative soldier. It's a very, it sounds like an oxymoron most of the time. So I have to say that, I am creative, right? So for that, I would like to start with two lines that I've written. वहां वो मेरी रफ्तार देख हैरान है, वहां वो मेरी रफ्तार देख हैरान है, और यहां मैं अपने कारवां को मंजिल बना बैठा हूं. वहां वो मेरी रफ्तार देख हैरान है, और यहां मैं अपने कारवां को मंजिल बना बैठा हूं. आई थिंक I have proved one part of it, that I am creative. Now let me tell you the soldier bit of me, which will let you know that actually I am a creative soldier. So now let's come to this topic. Whenever you actually hear somebody who says this, that I'm a soldier and he's going to talk about Josh, as you rightly pointed out, Tanma, it is definitely not a typo error. It is a deliberate question. So all of you might be knowing the answer to this question: how's the Josh? Thanks to Uri, as you already mentioned it. आप सब ने उरी देखी, और वहां पे जिस सिचुएशन में उन्होंने कहा कि हाउस द जोश, सब ने कहा हाय सर. इवन टुडे व्हेन आई आस्क पीपल हाउस द जोश, all of them say hi sir, how's the Josh, hi sir. I really like that Josh with which you say and with all your energy. I appreciate that. But you know what? When I was asked this question in my life for the first time, how was it? So again, as I always say, when there is a journey, the journey is all about stories. In the end, we are all stories. So today's journey that I'm going to share with you is going to be a lot of stories. I'm sure right from the childhood, whatever we have learned through stories. The stories that our grandfathers, grandmothers have shared with us. The stories that we have read in books. The stories that we have come across. At the end, we are all stories. So how interesting we can make our stories is what matters at the end. I have a story. I have many stories to share. But to start with, I'll start with this story that we all know how's the Josh is high. But when I was asked for the first time this question, how was it? Way back in academy, we used to have, our academy used to be there in Goa that time, and I'm from Naval Academy. So it used to be on top of a hill. And every Sunday, we would go for a 14-kilometer run, which would be like coming down from the hill, going around the hill, and going up to complete a 14-kilometer run, which is a Sunday run. And I'm telling you, way back that time, this 14-kilometer run was neither called a marathon, nor we got any medal for it. You know what we got? We got punishment, another punishment run for coming late for the enclosures. Now, all of you must be thinking, is that a reward that you get? But yes, that's what we got. No medal that time. Today, people run for 5 kilometers, then they show off a medal that I have run marathon and whatnot. But trust me, before that, all of you must be thinking that, I must be a real great runner to be a part of that run. But trust me, before that, I have never run even 800 meters. When way back in my school, when I used to be participating in all those athletics, I was a very smart guy. So I always used to prefer a 100-meter run than to a 800-meter run, because I always used to know this particular fact that I can run 100 meters for sure, but 800 meters quite a lot. And that person, when I used to run that 100 meters, even by the time actually I could complete, they would complete that particular heat and they would choose the winners, and the next heat would have been already started. I was that bad a runner. But then I go to this academy and we go for this 14-kilometer run for the first Sunday. And I had no clue whether I'll ever be able to complete it. Any which way, because of all those motivations that are there with my course mate, on the people, my seniors, all this, we complete that run. Somehow, the last 2-3 kilometers of that run used to be so difficult because it is going up a hill. By the time we reach on top, we are either out of breath or we are all dying. And when we reach, all of them would be cheering, saying that the enclosure is going to end right now. You need to go, you need to rush. And we would be running for our life to somehow make it to the enclosures. And I can't tell you from where we did get energy to do it, because that's a fear probably, so that I don't have to go for another run. But like it always, you come late. You have to go for a punishment run. But that's how the life was. But then at the end of that run, when we are completing it and we are almost dead, we somehow did it. 14 kilometers in my life was for the first time ever. And when we are all dead, there is another officer, which is a duty officer, we call him adjutant. He's standing there, tough guy, would ask this question, are you guys dead? Of course we were dead. But no, sir, was our answer. And immediately he asked, 10 knuckle push-ups right now. 10 knuckle push-ups? I just couldn't believe that at that given point of time, we could give him 10 knuckle push-ups. But we were in 10 seconds on our knuckles. All of us had some energy in us. And that given point of time when we were on our knuckles, he asked this question for the first time in my life. And that was, guys, how's the Josh? And believe me, I'm telling you the truth. I never had the energy to say, even hi, sir. Even my hi, sir would be like, hi, sir. But yes, the things that I'm going to share with you today is, we didn't give him 10 knuckle push-ups. We gave him 20 knuckle push-ups. Being there on knuckles, we were giving it with all our Josh. We were all saying, no, sir. How's the Josh? Hi, sir. And that is how we gave him 20 knuckle push-ups. And that day in my life, I realized one thing. It is never over till the time you give it a shot with all your Josh. So now all of you must be knowing that it's not all about how's the Josh. It's very easy. Sitting in AC cabins, sitting in theaters, sitting in comfortable state. When somebody asks you this question, how's the Josh? And all of you shouting on top of your voice, shouting it aloud, saying, hi, sir. But it's difficult when you're up rifle and taking rounds of that parade ground. After 10 rounds, somebody asks you this question, how's the Josh? Cadet, how's the Josh? And trust me, it takes much more than guts to say, hi, sir. But every time it was hi. You know why? Because we need to know, and what is very, very basic and very, very interesting for us to know is, who's the Josh? Unless until we know who's the Josh, we probably would never be able to do it. So before I get into who's the Josh, I must tell this particular fact, because I know there are so many aspirants here who are basically trying to qualify SSB and get into armed forces. That's immense. I mean, I must congratulate all of them to think about their career like this. But before I go into that particular part where I would be sharing that, what exactly and what is actually the answer of who's the Josh. So before we decode who's the Josh, let us understand that where does this Josh comes from, and how do we decode this Josh word per se, and that is where probably we'll understand where is it coming from. Before, so here I say that a lot of people, believe this particular fact that all those people who have joined uniform are basically people who are basically ready for it, and they have bundle of energy with them and they can do anything in life. We make them superheroes. And I always understand that they don't have any negatives at all in their life. But trust me, I'm very sure that we are all wrong in thinking that They're superheroes and they have no negatives. What actually makes us human is the negatives and positives in life. So when we ignore all our negatives and we think that okay, they are probably our weakness and that is something which is not letting us do something, I'm telling you, we all are emotional people. We have emotions which are varied and different. And all these emotions basically are the driving factors. And trust me, if I didn't have emotions at that given point of time, we would have never ever given them 20 knuckle push-ups, right? So all those people who think that being emotional is a weakness, I defy or I deny to agree, because I know that being emotional can be such a big strength that you will always thank yourself for being emotional. So all those people who are thinking that we have negative emotions controlling us, we should always know that they are part of us, because we are all human beings. So how do we control them, so that we can actually take the best out of us, is something that we need to learn. And that is something probably I would like to share when I go through my story, my journey. My journey is basically a story of different emotions that we generally fear, you know. So I would like to share something about self doubt. I would like to share something about fear. I would share something about rejection. I would share something about dilemma. See, all this are there in our mind, and they will come because they will keep coming and we have no control over them. So when they keep coming, how do we handle it? When there is adversity, when there is a challenge, how do we face that challenge is something that we always want to look for. That is where we aspire somebody to be, right? So we aspire a lot of people who are successful in their life, the people who have achieved in their life. And it'll be surprising if I share this particular secret with all of you, that the real motivation or the inspiration behind me is not somebody who is a Bill Gates, or he's somebody who's not a person who has been doing something great, that he is somebody who has achieved something excellent or something great in life. But for me, an inspiration is my inspiration is a 12-year-old kid and the cute little story that is attached to that 12-year-old. So before I come to that story, I would go through this various challenges that came to my life. So when I think of this particular fact, that what actually motivates and what are the challenges that comes across, I think my biggest challenge for me, when I think of challenges per se, the biggest challenge for me was when I was making my first film when I was in Navy. And there I had this particular thing in my mind which is called self doubt. तो हम लोग उसके बारे में बात करेंगे, especially I'm going to talk about your emotions that are negative. So today let's talk about self doubt. So now when I think of self doubt, what comes to my mind is the self doubt what I had, that whether I can make a film or I can't. When I was in Navy and I was serving in a air squadron in Navy, so I thought that I will make my first film. So one day I just walk up to my flight commander, and he was gem of a person, and I just happened to go to into his office and tell him that, sir, I want 30 days leave. He said, okay, but why do you want it? I mean, 30 days. I said, yes, sir, I want to make my film, first film. So that's why I want 30 days of leave. And he didn't know what to say. He thought I'm crazy. And a lot of people who came to know about it thought I'm crazy. But you know what? I took that 30 days and I went on that journey. The journey of making my first film. Wasn't easy, had no clue how to make one. But it wasn't that day when there was internet, when there was YouTube, and there was all the resources that are available to make a film. How do you actually plan and make a film? There was no fancy phones. Making a film was like a real challenge that time. But yes, I had this particular decision that, though I had this self doubt whether I can make it or not, but I wanted to give it a try. And I wanted to prove everybody wrong that I'm not crazy. It's just a dream and that I want to achieve. So I went on, and in those 30 days, running from pillar to post, going to meet people, speaking to them, spending endless, sleepless nights at the edits, writing the story myself and shooting it with actors and getting it done in 30 days. Finally, I made my film. And when I made my film, you know what I did? I came back to my flight and I went to my flight commander. I handed over the CD to him at night and I told him, sir, this is my first film. He couldn't believe it. Next day, we had a screening of my film for all entire officers of my mess. And it was premiered for him before I could show it to the world. And this story always made me proud because all those who thought I'm crazy started believing in my dreams. And they knew it's not about just dreaming, it's about the drive behind it. So if you have a dream, probably you need to find the drive behind it to make it possible. I made it. My first film, though it was a 1 minute or 4.5 minute film, though I made two versions of it, has made it to the first Indian online short film competition, which was run by Anurag Kashyap and Sudhir Mishra, which is called passionforcinema.com. And it was critically acclaimed. That's where I knew that it is not that difficult. If you decide what you want to do, if you are clear what you want to do, you can do it. And I knew right from my academy days, all it requires a little bit more Josh. So when I share this story of self-doubt, I must share this particular fact that fear is something which always stops. The fear of rejection, fear of losing, and whatnot. We all fear, and this fear inside us always stops us from doing anything in life. I always keep telling the people that if anybody who stops you, the first one, the first person, the first soul to stop you from doing anything is you. So this fear is always there, which is a dominating fact and dominating emotion that is always there. So let's give an example of you. Like a lot of people, I think as two kids will agree with this and students will agree with this, that a lot of us keep telling this fact to our kids that रात को बाहर मत जाना, अंधेरे में मत जाना, you know, वहां डर लगेगा आपको, वहां नहीं जाना चाहिए, वगैरह वगैरह. But most of us do not know that in this finite world, in a daytime when there is light, everything is finite. We could see everything, where we can go, how far we can go. Things are so clear. We can see everything. But when it comes to night, when it comes to darkness, I see it as an infinite possibility. Every time you're stopping a kid from actually going into the fear, basically that is a fear of unknown. So every time I step into the night, I always think I'm a warrior because I'm really fighting the fear inside me, which is the fear of an unknown. So when it comes to fear, again, the same fear was there when I was there in academy and I was a bad swimmer. So every time I would go into the pool, they will call me submarine because मैं नीचे ही रहता था पानी के, I would never come to the surface. And my postmates would agree to that. Most of them who are there here will agree to this particular fact. But the instructor one day, who was there, who always used to teach swimming, he knew that I know swimming, but I would never go to the deep end. And I will always be floating around in the shallow end. So he has actually took me to the pool and he has taken me to the deep end and he has told me that you go to the 10-meter height and jump from there. And I want you to do that. And I, that there's always fear. I would never do that. I've said, no, I can't do it. You punish me in whatever way, but I'm not doing it. But as you know, what happens in forces, Fauj hai. So then he took me up and I was there in 10-meter slab. From there, I'm supposed to jump. So there is a dive board and from the dive board, I'm supposed to jump into the pool. I could never ever do that. Trust me, I never did it. He did it. He pushed me into that 10-meter thing. And first time, it was not me jumping into the pool. He was actually pushing me into the pool. So I was there into the, deep down in the swimming pool, deep down under. And I was thinking probably this is the end of it. I think I had imagined everything that it's probably the end. And that given point of time, when I came out, I probably swam and I did what I really don't remember what I did. But I could see there is somebody who's sitting over there, and I could see the wall. I could see the bar which I could actually go and hold. I just keep swam, and I just kept swimming, and I somehow went there, and I was holding on to the bar. So the instructor was standing there, and he asked me, you know what? Don't tell me that you can't swim, because if you were only looking for the wall, what I see is in your mind there is something called a block. The block is that you're always looking for that wall. So when you get into the pool, the first thing that you look for is the wall, and you go there and touch it so that you are safe. That's stopping you from learning swimming. And that given point of time, what he said is, if you see, the wall was next to you when you actually dived into it, when you came up, the wall was next to you. You couldn't see the wall. What you saw is something which is almost 50 meters away from you. You swam 50 meters to touch that wall. If you tried just to survive in the water and go anywhere, probably you are a swimmer already. That made me realize that it's always that fear that actually stops you. I was a swimmer. I could swim already. But I never used to swim because I had that fear. So that's another story of fear. When it's fear, then again, a lot of people ask this particular thing that, I'm in a dilemma. Dilemma is something where you're not able to decide what to do, what not to do. Similar kind of a scenario was there, situation was there when I was taking a decision in my life, biggest decision of my life, in fact, when I was hanging up my uniform. A lot of people still ask me questions. Why did you leave Navy? It's a difficult question to answer for me because I equally loved my uniform the way I loved my passion. You know, my passion and profession were like my girlfriend and my wife, and it was so difficult for me to choose one. But finally, I had to choose my passion because I knew I couldn't live without. So this particular decision making was so difficult when I was there in Navy and I was about to hang up my uniform, and it was so difficult, to take this particular call. How do we do it? Something so close to me. How do I leave that and go and try something which I don't know whether I will be able to do? So this is the dilemma that I had in my mind, and I didn't know how to look for it. So that given point of time, one senior of mine called, I still remember his name. It's like Amit Mahapatra. I had to. He was like a mentor to me. I used to have share my thoughts with him, and he has seen my films. So I would like to share this particular story, this little story. It's an interesting story again. So when I was in this dilemma, I was actually telling him that, sir, I don't know. I love making films and I would love to do this, but I don't know whether I can leave this uniform and go. So he asked me this question. He said, okay, you're an engineer, right? How many engineers are there in India? I said, few lakhs probably. I don't know the exact figure though, but I think few lakhs of them, I guess. Then he said, okay, out of that, how many did join Navy? So I said, probably a few thousand, because I don't know exactly how many of them are actually in Navy. So how many engineers are there in Navy? I don't know. They said, okay, fair enough. I think few thousands, agree. So now out of that, how many people had actually read an ad in the newspaper and thought of making a film? How many do you know? I just stopped for a while and I said, I don't know anyone, sir. Probably me. And then he said, you're still thinking? You're still thinking what do you need to do? And trust me, he was right. It was so difficult for me to take that call when I was fighting it out with that dilemma. But yes, I knew that if there is a will, there is a way. If I want to make a film, if I want to make this as my profession, I'll be able to do it. I had to put up my papers. I had to hang up my uniform, and I had to try it. So, not giving up is the mantra. If you believe, you can do it. So, with that, we had actually dealt with dilemma as well. Now comes rejections. Rejection is something which we all face in our lives every day. Even today, I face a lot of rejections. You know, being a writer, being a filmmaker, when you go to speak to producers, pitch your ideas, pitch your films, not easy. And all those who know this particular industry would agree with me. How difficult is it? So when it comes to rejections, again, I would like to share this particular fact. You know, many times a lot of people have told, it is difficult to face rejections every now and then. You know, it is difficult. I agree, and many times as students as well, as working professionals as well, we apply for things, we don't get that. Many times that happens. Many times it actually challenges you. You know, whether you can do it, you can't do it. बट देन उसके लिए भी एक बहुत ही सुंदर चीज मैंने जो लिखी, जो आपके साथ मैं शेयर करना चाहूंगा. अगर तुम अपने अंदर से आते हुए ना को अगर तुम अपने अंदर से आते हुए ना को सुन के भी अनसुना कर दो, तो जो चाहोगे वो हो जाएगा. अगर तुम अपने अंदर से आते हुए ना को सुन के भी अनसुना कर दो, तो जो चाहोगे वो हो जाएगा. निराशा के अंधेरे से दूर निराशा के अंधेरे से दूर उम्मीद की उजाले की ओर चल दो, तो जो चाहोगे वो हो जाएगा. The first and foremost thing that we all need to do is to believe in yourself. If you do believe, you can do it. And I always believed that I'll be able to do it. That's because, as I come, and in the beginning, I have mentioned this particular fact. All of you must be having the achievers, the successful people in this world are basically the most motivation or the inspiration for you all. As I told you, my inspiration is a 12-year-old. So this is again a small little story that I would like to share. So my inspiration is a 12-year-old named Chotu. And this story is about Chotu. Chotu studies in a government school in a small little village. And he's somebody who generally would write poems and stories, at the age of 12. And he was so much into writing at that given point of time. So much so that probably because his father was a writer himself, and his father would, that given point of time, way back in those days, would write. He had a children's magazine of his own. So, of course, Choti used to write small little poems and stories in that. But see the inspiration and the aspirations of Chotu. Chotu wanted to be not just a contributor to that magazine, but he wanted to be the sub-editor of that magazine because his father was the editor. So one day, he just walks up to his father's room and he tells him that, father, पापा क्या मैं आपके मैगजीन में सब एडिटर मुझे बना सकते हो आप? तो father looks at him and says, child, I agree, but I think you're not ready yet, son. So Chotu thinks that, is it? It's a big no for Chotu. He said that अच्छा है father ने ऐसे बोल दिया मुझे कि you're not ready yet, son, but दिमाग में what he was saying that it's a big no. And Chotu decided that I will convert this no into a yes. From that day, Chotu decided that I will not be the sub-editor of his magazine, but I'll make my own magazine. So Chotu, a 12-year-old kid, thinks like unlike any other 12-year-old, starts thinking like an entrepreneur. And we all know, in today's entrepreneurs, how difficult is it for them to actually start looking for funding and how to generate funds to run a company. It's a big challenge, right? At that given point of time, for a 12-year-old kid, how difficult was it to generate revenue from selling his trophies to losing money to a gambler? He did everything. And I'll not be able to share everything about this story because probably this particular story is going to be a part of my film. But the journey was so interesting that Chotu tried every little thing that he can as a 12-year-old to make money for that magazine. But making a magazine is not a small thing. It makes lot of money. But days pass by, weeks pass by, months pass by. But after 6 months, Chotu thought of an idea. And in that idea, what he did was he made a magazine of his own, without spending a penny. And know what happened? He calls his father to the inauguration function of his magazine in his school as a guest, and his father inaugurates it. And this happens because Chotu believed that he can convert that no into a yes. Same night, Chotu's father calls him to his room and he tells him, "Son, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you that you made it. But trust me, don't spend your energy in making that magazine because I think you're ready now. Will you be the sub editor of my magazine?" Trust me, Chotu gets goosebumps even today when he thinks of it. So do I. You know why? That Chotu is me. I'm sure आप लोगों को यकीन आ गया होगा that there's a little Chotu in every one of us. It's not easy. It's not easy. We all look for motivations, inspirations everywhere, but not inside. Now I come to this topic. Who is the Josh? And when I'm going to reveal the answer for it, before I could reveal the answer for it, I know all of you know the answer already. They say, what that always challenges and makes me believe that I can do whenever I hear a no from someone. Every time I face rejections, I fight it. I fight it like a fighter. I always believe that I can convert that no into a yes. So every no is an inspiration for me to do it with all the Josh. And every time I think of an inspiration, that always comes from the Chotu inside me. So every time I have a challenge right in front of me, I ask my Chotu, "How's the Josh?" And the Chotu inside me always says, "Aye, sir." And that 12-year-old is still alive. And if you find that inspiration, the inspiration is always within you. So always today, my answer to this question, who's the Josh, is I, sir. So every time somebody asks you this question, who's the Josh? All you have to say loudly and proudly is I, sir. So I think this brings to this particular, the stories that I have shared. I always say this, अगर कोई मुझे बोलता है क्या है जिंदगी मेरे भाई, तो मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ शायद एक कहानी सुनी सुनाए. तो मेरी कहानी, जितनी भी कहानी मेरे दिमाग में आया, जितनी भी कहानी मेरे इमोशन से जुड़ी थी और जो हमेशा मुझे इंस्पायर करती रहती है और हमेशा मुझे ये बोलती रहती है कि कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है जिस गोल के पीछे तुम भागो और तुम्हें लगा कि यही है जिंदगी में जो मेरा डेस्टिनेशन है. ट्रस्ट मी, वो हमेशा बोलते हैं कि द प्लेस ऑन द टॉप इज ऑलवेज लोनली. इट इज ऑलवेज द जर्नी वेर यू हैव कंपेनियंस. तो मेरे हिसाब से आपको अपनी जर्नी जो है उसको खूबसूरत और यादगार बनाना है. अगर आप वो कारवां बनाते जाओगे तो मंजिल अपने आप आपको दिखती जाएगी, आप मंजिल को हासिल करते जाओगे. एंड देयर इज नो एंड, देयर इज नो एंड टू द जर्नी एंड यू विल एंजॉय द जर्नी, एंड दैट्स मोर इम्पोर्टेंट इन लाइफ. So who's the Josh is more important than how's the Josh. How's the Josh can vary. There will be situations where you will be low, where you will be looking for that Josh, where you will be out of Josh. When you're out of Josh, how do you get that? You have to get that from within you. the inspiration is always from within. So, जैसे मैंने आपको कहा था कि अगर अपने अंदर से आते हुए ना को अनसुना कर दो तो जो चाहोगे वो हो जाएगा. So I think I have answered this particular question called who is the Josh. Now I would like to say share something which is very very interesting and I follow in my life. Very recently I have read a book called Ikigai. It is a Japanese concept. Ikigai. आप में से काफी लोगों ने सुना होगा और काफी लोगों ने नहीं सुना होगा. इकी का मतलब है लाइफ एंड गाई का मतलब जापानीज में इकी का मतलब है लाइफ और गाई का मतलब है टू बी वर्थ ऑफ और वर्थ टू बी. दैट मीन्स कि एवरी टाइम व्हेन यू गेट अप इन द मॉर्निंग एंड यू आस्क योरसेल्फ दैट is there a reason to live this day? If your answer is yes and you found your ikigai, then never ever ever you would say that I'm out of Josh. So I would say all those people who are listening to me and who are looking for an inspiration, look inside and find some inspiration, because once you find your ikigai, then you will never ever go out of Josh. You'll always be like me, never ending Josh. There is nothing in this world that will let you know and say that we're going to give up. I'm going to give it another try. 10 knuckle push-up nahi dena hai, 50 dena hai. If you have the emotions, we'll do it. So never ever fear to fail. It's okay to fail. We'll all fail because failure is something that gives us lessons for life. One victory, one day is enough. I think with that, I would conclude and ask everyone to answer this question for me now. I'm sure it is not a typo anymore. Who is the Josh? I, sir. Jai Hind. Tanmay, over to you.
Thank you, Commander, for a great talk. I think my Josh is very very high now. After listening to you for about an hour or so, and I'm sure.
I don't know. I think I have just stressed it. I'm extremely sorry if I did.
No. It was just perfect. I mean, I think the time is better utilized listening to you than I'm doing anything else. So thank you so much for that great presentation. And I think
so. I think now you have no issues with the question who's the Josh, right? I would definitely like to know who's the Josh now.
Of course, I think you found that character at the center of everything. I think that is fantastic.
Thank you, Tanmay. So are we going to listen to some of our audience now, some questions and answers?
Yes, just to thank you, Commander, for that great talk. I think the way you talked about emotions and and the way you justified why emotions should be there, for us to be called as human beings.
Right.
And I think I think your stories. I think. I think they're brilliant. I think it was there when you called yourself Chotu when you brought that out, that magazine, writing those stories. I think it has been there in the DNA right from the beginning. And then becoming a Navy officer and then coming back to follow your passion. I think it's a full circle, I would say.
True.
And that's great. That's brilliant. I think the jaws of our participants also might have been very, very high now.
Let's hear it from them now. I think I'm excited to hear it from them.
Sure. Now we open this floor for questioning. If you have any questions for the commander, please ask now. This is a great opportunity for you to listen into somebody who carries those small little stories which has the essence and the meaning of life embedded in it. we open this floor now for questions. Please feel
Pleasure.
free to ask. Anybody, please raise your hand. I will unmute you and you can ask the question to the commander.
Sure. Pleasure.
Please raise your hand. It's not, you can't physically raise your hand. We are locked down in our houses. But, raise your hand virtually. I can see it on Zoom, and then you can ask your question to the commander.
Yeah, please.
Raise your hand, please, if you have a question. Yes, please go ahead. Mona Lisa, you have a question? Mona Lisa, please go ahead if you have a question.
Tanmay, will I be able to see them, or is it just the audio?
Let me figure out if I can get their audio on.
Yeah, please.
I'll just figure out.
Sure. Because it's a challenge for me to not to see the participants and deliver the talk.
Yes, that's true. Please feel free to ask questions now.
It's always like those classrooms, right? Our teachers come and after the class they're asking the questions. Either you've understood or you didn't understand it.
So true. Perhaps the first case is true. That everybody has understood.
I don't know. I think you're making me assume that.
Because I understood everything. It was so lucid. It was explained in a very, very simplified manner.
I tried my best. Let's see.
Sure. Anybody has any question, please feel free to raise your hand and ask now.
Yeah.
Or you're finding it difficult to use the tool to raise your hand, please let me know. I can help you with.
Yeah, or you can put in all those comments, questions, anything. Hello, can you hear me? Sure. So I was saying that if at all, there are some questions that are there in comments or something, probably you can shoot. I'm ready to answer them.
Sure.
I think Tirupati Rao has some questions. I think he has.
Yeah. Tirupati Rao, I'll unmute you. Please ask your question. Tirupati Rao, can you ask your question now?
He's still on mute, I guess, Tanmay.
I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Tirupati.
Yeah, good evening, Amya and all team.
A very good evening.
Yeah, it's a really good session. And we both are, I think you are aware of me. We are both in Rolta. So,
okay. Wonderful, Rao. It's good to hear.
yeah. Being a defense from background from myself also. It's really, very fantastic session now.
Thank you, Rao.
We are that Josh is always with us.
Yeah, exactly.
All among with the team as well.
Yes.
So that's really, I just said thank you. There's no more any questions from my side.
Okay.
So, thankful session and
thank you. It's wonderful. I mean, it's a pleasure working with you in Rolta, and it's wonderful that you're here. I'm very happy that I have happened to hear from you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That Josh must be keeping forever, ever.
Thank you, Rao. Thank you.
Okay.
Pleasure is all mine.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Rao, for that question. Not question, in fact, for appreciation.
yeah, right.
Anybody else? Yes, Sweta Acharya, you have a question. I'll unmute you.
Yeah, hi Amya and good evening all. Amya, it's not a question. You recognized who am I?
Sweta, engineering?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
In
Oh my
fact,
God.
yeah, it's really good to hear you.
So
And
good to
in
hear
fact,
from you, Sweta. Yeah, yeah.
and in fact, I missed the first part of this, but it's really
Okay.
me and my son both are hearing. It's really good. And another thing, I missed your Sairi also. In between, you just said 3-4 lines of Hindi lines, which is really good.
Acha, okay. I'll repeat it for you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Please.
It is कि अपने अंदर से आते हुए ना को सुन के भी अनसुना कर दो तो जो चाहोगे वो हो जाएगा। अपने अंदर से आते हुए ना को सुन के भी अनसुना कर दो तो जो चाहोगे वो हो जाएगा। निराशा के अंधेरे से दूर उम्मीद की उजाले की ओर चल दो तो जो चाहोगे वो हो जाएगा।
Oh, great. Thank you, Amya. And you are always fabulous and like that only.
Thank you,
Really
thank you,
a good
Shweta.
session. And
Thank you, Shweta. We'll connect. We'll connect. I think.
yeah, sure. Be in touch.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Acharya, for that wonderful compliment this evening.
It's wonderful, and I'm getting to hear from people I haven't heard for ages. And Tanmay, it's exciting for me. You know, I'm looking forward to more questions now.
Yeah, and finding a college friend on a live webinar after so long, I think that is fantastic.
So true, so true.
Thank you, Mrs. Acharya, for that question again. We have Mr. Jay, who has raised his hand.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Jay, please go ahead. I'm trying to unmute you. Yeah, Mr. Jay, yes.
Yeah, good evening, Amya.
Very good evening. Manu speaking.
So I have question, how to start the day, to have a motivation throughout the day.
How to start a day?
Yes.
Okay.
So Ikigai.
So I think that is where I ended, and you asked the same question. But yes, I would say this, that like I'll share how do I do it. You know, probably, because most of the times I feel that when people ask you questions like an expert, it always puts you in a spin. Where you're actually not an expert. Nobody is an expert in this world. Nothing is absolute in this world. So I always think that the reality is share what you do or share what you follow. Then probably somebody who's listening to you and finds it's inspiring would follow it. So that's how I always feel. So the name Amiya per se, I have written my name as admire me if you admit. If you actually take the shortcut, it becomes Amiya. So I always say that for doing anything every day when you get up and to find anything that is inspiring, always one thing is very, very important for you to understand this, that every time you get up in the morning, the first thing that I do is I thank God for giving me an opportunity to live another day. Because unless until you show your gratitude to life, life will never ever treat you well. The first thing that you should do is to say that I have survived one more day and you have given another day for me to live, is the first thing to start with. When you start with the gratitude, you start with the positivity that you require for the whole day. That's number one. Number two, when you have nothing to do, like a lot of us in lockdown, when you know that there is nothing to do, there is no set aim or objective or goal in a day, and you still need to live that day. And in that particular event or the process where you get up and you think what I should do, whether you have something or where you do not have something, I would still relate to where I started my talk with. It is not important that where you would reach in your journey, but what is important is whether you have enjoyed the journey itself. So when you wake up and you start your day, you think that you believe in yourself more than anybody else. When you get up and believe that what you do will take you somewhere where you will be a better person, rather than thinking that whether you will achieve that goal, is something that I always do. So I do not have set parameters or set process to do something today so that same thing happens tomorrow. Every day is a life for me, and I take life as if there's, it's going to end tomorrow. So for me, I would say one thing is that positivity with which you approach every day makes a lot of difference. Like they say, it doesn't matter, what you could do or what you could not. But if you approached it in the right process, it will take you to where you want to be. I hope I answered your question, sir.
What is the role of subconscious mind in this case? We have any command we have to give, or
Subconscious mind has a bigger role to play. I'm telling you, the whole thing, when I was sharing this little story of Chotu, is something which is there in my subconscious mind forever. And that has happened because this is an incident that has happened probably long back. But even that thing comes up again and again, when actually I face challenges, because I feel it has made an impact, and it has so much of impact in it that I don't have to look for anything else in my life. So subconscious mind is something which need to be, as like we will not, there are processes where we need to actually train our brain so that we can actually prepare ourselves for the adversities that are going to come in. Probably, when we'll have sessions for that, where we can actually discuss all this details of how to train your brain, how to get into that process where you will start understanding that, everything that happens in your life, how to make sure that, that becomes a little easier on your life, and or you start enjoying it, is again a process. That's why ikigai is a very small little term of telling it. If at all you can do a little bit study on it, you can actually buy a book called Ikigai and read more on it, and you'll realize that, there's much more to living healthy and living happy than just living and surviving it. So for me, even a lockdown where you can't do much is an opportunity for you when you look at it the way and the way you look at it. And so that's why the subconscious mind is something where you set things where every time you need to react or take a decision, it always helps you because it's already trained. I hope that answers your question, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Jay, for that question. Thank you, Commander, for such an elaborate answer and quite apt. Not many people you'll find around, they live the way life should be lived, actually. So great answer, Commander. So we'll now take a couple of more questions.
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm looking for some student to answer. I mean, if at all there
are. Any other question, particularly from students?
No, you can ask me questions which are there with you.
Sure.
Meanwhile, we'll expect some from the students because I really wanted to know their feedback or inputs.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you have any question now, right now?
I'm just waiting for them to ask.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'm just trying to take some questions from the chat box.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. Any question from anybody quickly? Okay, I have one question, Commander, from somebody. Are you missing your Navy days now? So that's an interesting question.
Yeah, that is, I think I'm sure one of, I'm sure it is either of a friend of mine or an acquaintance of mine. But yeah, I would say this, that yes, I do miss it. And मैंने आपको, I think I had given this analogy of my girlfriend and my wife, right? So I think there is no better I think there is no better answer to that that question, because when I say this, that it is like something which is always close to my heart, and I was equally attached to this, so that is where probably, abhi isse pehle jaise Jay sir ne pucha tha ki is it difficult to detach something that you are attached to? Probably this question is similar to that. So it took a lot of time, and even today I would say this, that why this tag of creative soldier is there with me, because the soldier in me by emotion always remains, and it will always remain. So I'm a soldier for life. So those days of Navy and all those people, all my course mates, brother at arms, the seniors, juniors, everybody who I worked with, even today, they are like a family to me. And the camaraderie that I share with them, even today, after ages and after years of being out of Navy, being out of uniform, is something that I always keep quoting to people, that I'll never ever get back to those days and those people in my life. But I'm happy, and I always say this is my gratitude to life, that they have given such wonderful people to me. There are people who have stood by me and through thick and thin, and even today they say that we believe in you. So how would I say that I don't miss them and I don't miss Navy? I don't miss being in that sparkling whites and looking at yourself in the mirror and say that am I dressed correctly, and saying yourself you're looking smart today. I always miss that.
Thank you, Commander, again for that great answer. I have one more question from a lady, Arpita.
Yeah.
And she asks, what are the different lessons that the Navy has taught you? You think there are some important lessons that you have learned from the Navy?
One thing that would be like, see, there are many lessons that I've learned. So I cannot say this, that if I go back to listing out my lessons, probably it will be a book. So I don't think I'll be able to share the books now, but yes, to cut it short and to the situations that is there, the scenario that is there today, to relate that and say what lessons actually works today is, I always learned in Navy when I was in my academy and everywhere, in my years of service in Navy, I've learned one thing in Navy that always feel that is very relevant to life is they say, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. It's such a wonderful saying where they say that अगर आपने peace में मेहनत नहीं की, तो जब war आएगा तो ऐसे बेमौत मारे जाओगे. Every time there is peace, when there is no war going on, probably you are working your best, you are working hard, you are working the hardest, so that you sweat so much that you know everything and you're prepared so well that every time there is a war coming and there is a bigger challenge that comes in your life, you'll be able to tackle it easily and you'll be prepared to tackle it at least. So I think this is one lesson that I always keep sharing with people, and I always believe it's quite relevant. Another lesson that I would say is very, very relevant for people is in a boat. If you actually get into a boat, pulling boat, which is, it's called a dinghy or a regatta, we always do pulling there, and we always say pull together, so it's very, very relevant. What the Navy has taught me is teamwork. You can't do it alone. In your life, if you're thinking you'll do it alone, probably you're wrong. You always need a team, and it is impossible to do anything or achieve anything without a team. So a teamwork is most important, and all of you need to be in sync. Pulling together is very, very important. अगर आप एक बोट में हैं और 6 लोग उसको पुल कर रहे हैं और उसमें सिंक्रोनाइजेशन नहीं है, तो आपका बोट कहीं नहीं जा रहा है. If you are syncing and you're doing it together, then only the boat moves ahead. That's the two lessons that I would like to share, and I feel it's quite relevant in life today. Does that answer the question? Tanmay, can you hear me?
Your audio broke a little bit, Commander, in between.
Achha, okay.
In the end, so last bit of it we just missed.
Okay, it's like when you're in a boat and there are 6 people pulling it. So they say, we always believe this particular thing, that if there is not a synchronization that is happening, if you are not in sync, then the boat is not moving ahead. Boat will only move ahead when you are all doing it together. So we say pull together. So if you're pulling it together, then the boat moves ahead. So in your life, if you want to move ahead, always believe in teamwork and be a part of your team, be a contributing member in the team. That works.
Commander, one more question on Facebook. If I just read it out.
Please go ahead. Salma, can you hear me?
Sorry, I was on mute while reading that question. 1 minute. So I'll just read it out.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
question has come from Mrs. Shikha Singh, and she
Okay.
asks Commander Patra, what keeps you motivated to continue your passion of writing and directing during this lockdown, and how you continue to do so when you can't go out for shooting and meeting people.
Okay. How I continues to do so is yeah, I would say this, that um, it's a process where every writer would agree to this process, that the writer's life is generally uh, something very, it's very interesting. I always say it's an oxymoron. A writer is the only creature in this world who can do lonely conversations. So when he is lonely, probably he's the only one who converses, and he converses because everything is there in the mind. They say it is always the mind which is basically keeps us moving. When you have complete control over your mind, it is not a difficult job. For example, if I give this example now, I would say this, that this quarantine might be a very, very difficult thing for people today who are actually in the lockdown. They are staying at home and it's in close quarters. But trust me, the people in Navy and people in Army who are in bunkers, who are in ships, submarines, they have always been in that quarantine. And you ask them, for 40, 45 days, 30 days, when they are all alone and fighting it all alone and being there for days together, for weeks together. It's nothing but quarantine, right? And in those places also you keep working and you keep yourself sane, because when isolation hits you, that when there is loneliness, there is a chances that we lose our sanity. And it happens with a lot of people. There are issues of anxiety, depression, a lot of it. But many a times I keep telling this, that when you want to write, read more. When you want to convince, listen more. So I listen to my heart, I listen to my thoughts, and many a times they tell me what is to be done, and it's a fabulous ride. So I keep enjoying this isolation and make the best out of it. So I think that's what I do, and I'll keep doing, because the Josh is the same, and it has to come out somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Commander. There is a question from a student, Padma, and she asks, what are your secrets of cracking SSB? So it's a pure SSB question. Would you like to take it?
Yeah, why not? I would say that there is again, this is again a question that I would like to answer this way. वो बोलते हैं कि दुनिया में कोई सीक्रेट होता नहीं है actually. If at all you ask me, a lot of people ask that is there a secret to do something? Trust me, this is it's more of a farce. I would not say that there's always secret to everything, but the secret is uh, what I always see, and what I always feel is uh, when I cracked SSB, I never thought I would, but it was first time I was appearing for my SSB test, and I was there at Bangalore, and I happened to share this story which I could not share when I was there, because I was there in SSB and there was obstacle course. So SSB आपको crack करना है, तो obstacle course is one of them, and मैं obstacle course करके आया. So there was 10 obstacles that you need to do it in 3 minutes, kind of a thing. That is part of the test. So I did that and came back. I could only attempt 6 of it, because I started from the difficult most one first, and then I started to do the easier ones. That was my approach, which was probably wrong, and I could do only 5, 6 of them out of 10. And I came back, and there was a guy who was sitting next to me, and I asked him that, how many did you do? He said in 3 minutes I completed it twice. That means he did 20 times. So all of 10 obstacles he did 20. I mean, twice actually in those 3 minutes. I was surprised. I said, okay, I have no chance. Probably he's the right guy. And you'll be surprised when the results came. I was selected. He was not. I was really surprised. I was thinking that, why did this happen? I have attempted lesser obstacles, and I could complete only lesser obstacles than him. And how is it possible that, they selected me, not him? That time I realized one simple thing, that it is most of the times it is not what you have achieved in how long and how physically fit you are, or they're not looking for those attributes in you. What they're looking for is, even when the life throws a challenge at you, how you approach life. You know, when I was doing the second most difficult obstacle, I actually jumped from that. There is something called Burma Bridge. I jumped from there, and actually I had a injury in my leg. Despite that injury, I completed six obstacles. So probably that was way to go. That I what they were looking for is never give up attitude, and I believe I have that. Even today, I don't give up. Even if there are adversities, even if there are challenges, I don't give up. I try. I try till the time I say I'm dead. So I would say this is something which is very, very essential. If you want to survive, if you want to be in those pressure situations, one of the important factors is never give up attitude. If you have that, it's great. If you don't have, you can always work on it. I guess Tanmay, that's my share of experience.
Thank you, Commander. Just last question, would you mind taking that? There
Yeah.
is some,
Please go ahead.
Akshay. He talks about this new opportunity that the Indian Army has come up with. It's called the Tour of Duty, which is a proposal to let young and fit serve the Indian Army for 3 years. How you see that opportunity, and what is your take on it?
Yes, I may know whose question is that. I mean,
Come from Akshay.
Okay, okay. See, I agree. See, end of the day, I mean, how is it going to be implemented, and what exactly is going to be the benefits of it is something which we can debate a bit more. But for me, anything, as I said in my talk, I have already told one thing, that every time there is a challenge that is thrown in front of you, serving in army in those forward areas is definitely a challenge. And believe me, the kind of stories that we always used to share to motivate our men and the fellow um, uh, the fellow brother at arms, and the people who are there in the navy, used to be, most of the time it used to be like, stories of army, and extreme valor and extreme difficulties and survival, extreme challenges in terms of life threatening, or areas where it is difficult, and where you actually throw your life there, and you know uh, protect the country, is a different challenge in itself. Because I had spoken to somebody from the army as well in one of my talks, and what he was telling, that the kind of challenge when we were there in a ship, and we were all thinking that the ye to navy wale bahut ऐश करते हैं, was actually clear when we were on board ship for 15 days, and we were just praying God when we will go out of it. So similar thing is there with us when we go there to those forward areas where it is glacier, or the LOC areas like this. I think it's an experience in itself. And today, when we have this fear of unknown which is there inside us, why do we do bungee jumping, or we do scuba diving, or whatever adventure activities? Why do we do that? Because it always gives you that kind of a kick. It gives you some kind of a thrill, when you do it. And when you do it, you realize that you actually have killed the fear inside you. So for me, because I would not go to the details of it, like how it's going to happen and what exactly it can, what kind of a perspective it can give, but it can definitely give an experience that that will be there for you for life. And given a chance, I would never say no to it. I would definitely try it.
Oh, wonderful. Again, Commander, another 10 years. This is 3 years, of course.
True.
One last question, Commander, coming in from a gentleman, Mr. Gopal, and he asks, do you have a role model in life and who is the person and why he is your or she is your role model?
I guess I answered this question. I'm not sure this gentleman had the chance to listen to the whole talk. If I had to choose a role model, I think that role model is that Chotu inside me. Every time where actually I had a situation where I had to uh, see death from a very close quarters, and I was in situations where I had to fight it and survive and come back. At that given point of time, वो बोलते हैं ना that आखिरी वक्त जब आप आंखें बंद करते हो तो वो चीजें आती हैं, जैसे ग्लैडिएटर में वो दिखाते हैं कि when he is dying actually he could see his wife and son. That's a beautiful visual that I can actually always relate to, and that's the same thing. When I was in that dire situation where I could see death right in front of me, probably when I could close my eyes, the one which I had seen in my life is something which is unbelievable, and I could never believe it. And that is, believe me, was the day when I was standing right in front of my father, and my father was patting on my back and telling me, "Son, you did it, and I'm so proud of you." And even now, I get goosebumps when I think of that. So I think my role model is right inside me, and that's how I see life. So probably that may not be the case with all, but yes, if we might find a motivation in all within us. And the whole story of telling who's the Josh I sir is to tell you that the motivation you do not have to look for in anyone, but it has to be you, nothing, nobody other than you. Tanmay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Commander. Thank you so much again. I think we have reached the end of the session. I think
Thank you, Tanmay.
your talk was insightful. The question answer was quite engaging and very, very insightful again. Thank
Pleasure.
you, Commander, for taking the time out to talk to all of us today. The Josh is very, very high in the group now, and thank you so much for your time and certainly the stories that you shared with us and you motivated us this evening. Thank you so much, Commander, for that.
Yes, as I say, just to end, I would say this, that at the end, as I said, it is the journey that matters, and we are all stories at the end. So let's make our stories interesting. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Commander, again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Amir.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Tanmay.